It is never the words that Stevie Clarke wants to hear, but I think it is time for last orders at the Scotland Bar for Mr. Clarke. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. And I think we've had enough. It's another humiliating defeat for Scotland. Steve Clarke has gave us some good memories. He's done some good things as Scotland manager. He's qualified us for two major competitions. Now we can sit here and argue and say it's easy to qualify for Euros now, and I would actually be tempted to agree with that. But either way, look, he was the guy that done it, and we didn't qualify for the 2016 Euros, so it couldn't have been that easy that we managed to fuck that one up. But either way, I think now we've seen over the last, I'd say, 2 years now, probably, if not a little bit more, that Steve Clarke is probably taking us backwards now as Scotland manager. There's been good moments, there's been bad moments, but I think for a prolonged period now, there's been a lot more bad than good. And ever since that run came to an end, when we lost to Spain, it's kind of been a disaster since then, hasn't it?
It has been ever since that McTominay free kick got wrongfully disallowed. It's been brutal, man. Has been something like 4 wins out of 21. Factor in some of them against like Gibraltar and teams like that.
Now going into that Spain game, I think you'd have to give Steve Clarke a lot of credit.
Yeah,
I think his time as Scotland manager, yeah, there'd been a few downs, absolutely, but for the most part, I think things were looking good. And then our form dipped off. We still qualified for our second Euros under Clarke, but we went into the Euros with not a lot of confidence. We went into the Euros on a really bad run of form. Was it not like one win in 8 games? We had that 2-0 defeat to Northern Ireland as well. We'd lost to France, we'd lost to England. Yeah, teams you'd expect us to lose to, but we were just getting smashed. The Holland game we lost 4-0. There was a lot of defeats in there, and I get it. We did pick tough friendlies, but we also had that match against Northern Ireland, and we lost 2-0 there. The Euros was a disaster. Now, yeah, you can argue that Steve Clarke had a chance of getting us into the last 16, going into the final minute of a match day 3. And that's true, but we never really came that close to scoring, did we? Substitutions were very, very late. He was reluctant to go for it, and in the end, we lost that late goal, and Hungary went through. So that was disappointing. And then since the Euros, nothing's really happened either. And we
we're
talk,
fucking toothless. Let's
yeah,
call a spade a
we
spade.
talk about tough friendlies, but then you get friendlies against Finland or Iceland even, and you're thinking, right, well, we have to win that, and we don't. I predicted 3-1. I got the scoreline right, but I didn't get the correct winners.
No, let's just call a spade a spade. It's unacceptable. Yeah, see the summer of 23 around that when we beat Norway, beat Spain, great results here and there. See if the Euros was that summer, who knows what would have happened. But see, ever since that Spain game, as you've pointed out, the defeat in whatever it was, Madrid or Barcelona, it's been brutal. It's been shit. Like the Euros was unacceptable. See, looking back at it, man, it's like Germany. Right, see the Germany game right off. It's in Germany. Germany, one of the favourites. They're better than us. I mean, on our day, we could get a point, right? But beating them's unrealistic. So it's the other two games I focus on. Switzerland and Hungary are on par with us, man. It's give or take. If you want to say they're better or a wee bit worse, then I'll accept that.
It would be easy to blame Ryan Porteous for that Germany game, but I think we were on the way to a heavy defeat, even with 11 men.
Yep.
Wasn't looking good.
I was. Oh, Steve Clarke, man. It's not. We're shite at the back and we're shite going forward, and in the middle we've got one of. I'll stand back. We've got one of the best. We've got one of the best midfields in international football if it's utilised correctly. It can hold its own against any midfield. Problem is, this guy's managing it. See the fact, right, that Simon Murray, Nisbet, and Shankland are sitting wherever, and we have got James Wilson, Hurst, and what's the other guy? Rob Conway. Shout out to fucking 2005 WWE.
Tommy Conway.
Nah, you know what I mean, though. I just don't understand that, man. Yeah, you can argue with Nisbet and Shankland, they're a wee bit off form, but they're goal scorers, right? And look, see Simon, it's an absolute disgrace. How does Grant fucking Hanley get picked, not even picked by the way, starts every game and Simon Murray can't even get a sniff of the bottle? Nothing. Guy's finishing near our top goal scorer.
Same age as well, I believe. Both
Yeah.
33.
No, it's so unfair, and it's like, Simon Murray, a guy that's banging in goals, for me his career. Let's forget the fact he's 33.
Kenny McLean must be 43.
He is playing games, scoring goals, doesn't get in. Kieran Slicker, right? And then before people say, "Oh, but there's injuries to other guys," there is about 20 other goalkeepers you could pick ahead of Kieran Slicker.
And they can't all be injured.
Aye.
Just can't.
That has to go down as one of the biggest blunders, man, you'll ever see from a manager. See this whole thing, oh, but he's unlucky. Gunn and McCrory picked up injuries. He shouldn't be in there then. He should not be in there. You can't have a situation where one of the three goalies is completely useless. He's useless. That kid's career's over.
Yeah, people are saying he should start to try and get confidence against Liechtenstein.
Well, apparently he will start because the other two are injured. So, I'm a betting man. Liechtenstein, what price are they?
Don't know, but I mean, if they ever if I was Liechtenstein, is it Liechtenstein we play?
Yep, Monday.
If I was them, I'd be shooting for just as soon as you get the ball, I'd be taking shots. If Slicker's playing,
it's crazy.
His
man.
confidence must be fucked.
But let's talk about the game. You obviously, well, you've seen it, like, but you didn't get to comment on it, brother. So, what's your thoughts on that? It's not just defensively for me; it's offensively. See if Iceland scores.
Disaster, barely created anything.
Yeah, it's too many people are looking at the Slicker mistakes, and rightfully so, right? That is the headlines. But if they score 3, is it wrong for me to think we can score 6? Iceland are not very good. They've literally lost a bunch of games in a row.
Yeah, we scored 1 goal in 90 minutes for a set piece. I think against Iceland at home, we should be scoring for open play.
Yep. Nothing, man. George Hurst up front. We scored an offside goal. What did they do? Brutal going. No, let's 5-4-1 against Iceland. 5-4-1. And see this whole logic of we don't have wingers. Pick wingers, man. Pick wingers. See guys like, I know James Forrest is kind of done, right? Danny Armstrong. Guys like that. Hell, fucking Alan Forrest. Barry Mackay. I'm not even taking the piss. Do you not think, like, those guys should, at least 1 or 2 of them should get brought in? Like, some form of width. You can't just play John McGinn on the right mid and hope for the best and then don't even have a left mid. It's crazy.
What about Oliver Burke?
Whoever. You can't be going into all these matches, man, playing 5 at the back. It's not even like we played 5 at the back and Robertson and Tierney basically switched. Why not play Tierney left mid? Like a legit left mid, a legit left winger. The guy's a dinosaur, man. There is no, read my lips, there's more, I said it yesterday, there's more chance of Russell Martin winning the treble this year than this guy gets us to the World Cup. Heard it here first.
Yeah,
I'd rather go with the unknown than the shite.
I've always defended this guy, man, but I think he should leave. Tell you what, you can give him the Liechtenstein game. Because...
No, but people said, oh, why would you want Ange? We'd get scudded against the big teams. We're getting scudded against the Diddy teams.
I tell you what.
3 against Greece, 3 against Iceland. Yo, man, the whole point of Steve Clarke is, brutal football, but well structured, and they can sneak a goal and we can win. Where is that? All for nothing going forward, awful at the back, and the midfield, which has got, literally, right? See our midfield? It is some of the best players in Serie A right now, man. League winners, cup winners, and this guy is making them look like Diddy, man.
Yep. It's not right. It's
crazy.
not right. Anyway, should he go? That's the big question here. 8.5 minutes, ranting shite. Question is, though, after 523 votes, is Steve Clarke's time up? And a whopping 91%. I don't think we've seen a poll this wide, this unanimous. 91% believe that yes, Steve Clarke's time is up. 9% are saying no, he deserves the World Cup qualifiers. Unfortunately, I don't think there's anything Steve Clarke can really do at this point to convince me he deserves the qualifiers. If he's still there, I'll back him. But I have no confidence. I'm not seeing how we beat Denmark.
Look at the 3 teams, right? Denmark, Greece, Belarus. First 2 games, away to Denmark, away to Belarus. I mean,
Greece have recently pumped us.
Yeah, I know, but just on with the first 2 games. Denmark away, no chance. Belarus away.
You can see us dropping points there.
The USSR, man. Yeah, that'll be drop points. It's time to go, right? He's doing no one any favours. And I touched on this earlier, right? It's actually a unique situation. Normally, like, when it's a club, we've spent a lot of time talking about Rangers. Oh, rebuild this, rebuild that, new manager, new players. we've actually got a unique situation where no one's got a beef with the players. It's just the manager that needs to go.
Aye, it's
And but he's not doing himself any favours, right? See, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, this guy could have left Scotland and got a big job, in my opinion. Reasonably big job. See now, who's he going to get? Who's going to want him?
Yeah, I think if this guy leaves Scotland 2 years ago, I think he gets a bigger job. I think if he leaves now, he's going to have to accept a lower position than Scotland.
I think if Clarke leaves 2 years ago, you're looking at I think honestly a mid-table Premier League team. See now, I don't see it. I don't see any of that. It's almost like he'd end up at Dundee or something. You know what I mean? Well, Kelly,
Motherwell's still looking at manager.
They are, but it's like here people. I mean, I've seen 2 years ago maybe Celtic would have took him.
And they take him now?
No, of course they wouldn't. But just it's a joke. He has to go. There's no chance he gets us to the World Cup. I would say it's practically impossible. If the players down tools, who knows? I think at international level it's a wee bit different, but he's not getting a tune out of any of them. Andy Robertson, John McGinn, guys that are supposed to be two of the best players in that team. When's the last time they played good? Andy Robertson goes missing.
Aye.
John McGinn gets his arse about, but that's about it.
Anyway, let's see what we've got in the comments. Let's see what you guys are saying.
No, but see another thing, see Lewis Ferguson. What's he done in a Scotland shirt? And I'm not criticising his credentials, but Steve Clarke's not got the best out of him.
Done hee-haw, you know?
No, absolutely not.
Right, Blue Bear. Haha, I love to see Scotland get pumped. Fuck the SFA. That's just embarrassing, man.
Well, Steve Clarke, fucking the SFA. I feel like Steve Clarke's fucking us, but I do definitely not love us getting pumped. But we are getting pumped a lot.
Aye, moving on. Shite comment. The Kurgan says he should have been sacked last night. Or he should have walked. I'm not too sure.
He should have walked after the Euros. Perfect time. End of the tournament. Can't really take us anywhere forward. I don't think anyone really would have had too much bad to say about him. They'd have been like, you know what, got us to 2 tournaments. But we're looking at the real possibility of the first time not being at a summertime tournament since 2018. Very real possibility, because this World Cup's not happening.
Well, where was the last World Cup?
It was in the winter.
Alrighty. Rob Carroll says Fat Ange would be a better option, not like he's getting another EPL job. I don't see where that logic's coming from. The guy's just won a Europa League final. He's won a trophy for Spurs. Not many managers do that. I get it, he's been sacked, but I wouldn't say Ange's reputation's in tatters or anything like that.
No,
I mean, most people are saying that the sacking's harsh.
It is harsh, but I can understand certain logic. Tottenham have the 4th biggest spend since he came in. I mean, if he went to a Palace playing that football,
what I would say
players, would he really? I think he could take Palace down if he did that.
I would say I don't think his signings at Tottenham were great.
No,
I look at that Tottenham team. I don't think it's that good. The Tottenham team, I don't believe the Tottenham team's as good as it was when he first came in. So, yeah.
I mean, he lost Kane within a couple of weeks.
He did. Celtic FC 1888 says Ange Postecoglou. I'd take course. 100% I'd take Ange Postecoglou.
I said this in the review yesterday. It's like, think how different the style of play would be. You can't get any different ends of the spectrum.
I mean, if we're losing anyway, so I'd rather lose playing good football.
Yeah.
Imagine actually playing the big teams and actually going for it and attacking. I mean, yeah, you might get scud it, but at least you'd be fucking impressed and you'd be... I don't know, I'm just done with Steve Clarke, to be honest.
It's frustrating though, because we both believe here, and most of us believe, this is the best team for decades. Easy.
Yeah, the thing is, this team's not got long left. I mean, you look at it.
Screams like Belgium. Golden generation to a degree, and it's running out, and we've done nothing with it, by the way.
Yeah, I think that I think in years to come we'll look back at this and we'll go, you know what, we overhyped Steve Clarke, we overrated Steve Clarke, because I just think the fact that we'd never been at a major tournament in 22 years, when he did qualify for the Euros and then did 2 Euros back to back, I think that we gave him probably a lot more praise and credit than he deserved for that. Even when you look at the qualification for the Euros, I mean, it was kind of through the back door, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We've survived what 2 penalty shootouts
No.
against what Israel and Serbia.
Yeah.
It wasn't the most convincing way to qualify through the Nations League, and just looking at it, I think the squad we've had, we should be doing better.
But if you look at the 11, right, we've no issue with goalkeepers. Right, let's forget about Slicker. That's a one-off, right? Centre backs, I genuinely think they're all right. Just certain ones don't need to play, like Grant Hanley. Full backs, left back, literally couldn't ask for two better left backs, right? And even Josh Dodge and Greg Taylor, that's fantastic backup. Right back, all right, when Hickey and Patterson aren't injured, it's perfectly fine. But for the last bit, we've had to play Ralston, which is worrying. Johnson's coming through. So you look at the back five positions. For me, there's no real. I don't. Is it better than the team was a decade ago? Aye. Easy. I look at the midfield. It's literally got some of Serie A's best players. Then you've got like Lennon Miller. You had Callum McGregor. He's away. You got John McGinn, who he's not considered one of the best Premier League midfielders, but he's just a step below that. Then you look in the wide positions. That's where we're getting killed, right? We've got no real wingers whatsoever. You've got Ben Doak, who I think's great, but he's injured. You look at the left side. There's really no one that we have up front. I don't think up front's as bad as people would make it out to be, man. Honestly, why not play two up front? See the fact we've got no wingers. Why not play like a 4-4-2, like some form of diamond, or hell, McTominay and a false nine. Guy loves banging in goals. All that shit. Just don't understand it. You trying to tell me with guys like Nisbet, Shankland, Simon Murray in form, you've got Shea Adams, Lyndon Dykes when he comes back. We can't get a tune out of any of those guys to be half prolific up front. The guy's dropping the ball, man. Honestly, look at the only areas of the pitch for me that are weak are the wide areas going forward. And this guy is making us play like fucking East Sterling. It's insane.
And you wonder how much longer, how many more tournaments have how many more tournaments has Andy Robertson got in him?
Yeah.
We've seen Callum McGregor retire relatively early. If McGinn's going to retire at the same age, then he's not got much longer.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
So, it's...
No, but when was the last time Scotland could claim, right, that in certain positions they've arguably got the best players in the world at like left back Andy Robertson is? I don't know if he's in that conversation anymore.
At one point he was.
But, and I'm not saying like Gilmore, Ferguson, McTominay, or they're the best midfielders right here, right now, but they're fantastic.
And Steve Clarke's not doing nothing with him. Martin says, no way. Come on, Stevie boy. No way, Rick.
Come on, Martin. I think we all need to... Like, who's the 9% voting to keep Clarke? People that are happy with him?
Martin seems one of them. Graham Fine later says he won't quit. He will drag the team down and ruin the last chance many of these players have for a World Cup. Should never have stayed after the Euros. Yeah, that's the worrying thing. And I was touching upon that. The next World Cup won't be till 2030. How many of these players will be around in 2030 in Scotland? I'd say Andy Robertson, no.
No.
I'd say John McGinn, no. Kieran Tierney with his injury problems, I think you could say no. Scott McTominay, possibly not.
Ferguson will be 30.
I think he will be around. I think Gilmore, Ferguson will be around. But I think Andy Robertson definitely won't. I think there's a chance Kieran Tierney won't.
Craig Gordon definitely won't.
No, Craig Gordon
Suter
definitely
won't be.
And I think that
McKenna,
McGinn and McTominay, I don't think will be either.
Yeah.
And
the team in 5 years will be unrecognisable.
And but see if they are around. Let's say those guys are. They're going to be peaked already. We're not going to have the best version. See if Andy Robertson's still playing for Scotland in 2040. It's not going to be Andy Robertson at his best. Hell, you could argue that he's already declined a lot.
He won the league last year. We're talking about league winners here and cup winners in top 5 leagues. The time to strike's now.
I do believe that this upcoming World Cup is going to be the final chance for quite a few of our top players to play at a World Cup. And I don't rate our chances if Steve Clarke's in charge, I tell you that.
I just don't buy the excuses though about we don't have any wingers. Like I said, play 4-4-2. We've got strikers.
Fuck the wingers, man. We should be beating Iceland with or without wingers. I don't give a shit, personally.
No, I know.
Kenny Spence says should have walked after the Euros. Absolutely shocking tactics.
We've seen Patterson play right mid for Rangers when Tav was behind him and vice versa. So Play him. Yo, would you not rather play Patterson and Tierney, left mid and right mid?
Aye, with Robertson and Hickey behind them.
Yeah. Oh, come on. It's pissing me off here.
Stephen Robertson should never have got the job. His idea about football was totally 70s. Cora says time up for Clarke. He should have gone after the Hungary game. Haven't watched Scotland since. You haven't missed much, that's for sure. Scottish Walks, time for something new. We a rotten man. Warrion Marvis first says Big Ange, please. I take Big Ange. Steele says bye bye Alki. Get it up, you says go for Big Ange. Alexander McIntosh says time is up, pal. Shocking again, it was shocking. The Tartan Scientist says Big Ange is looking for a job. Notice we reply says here. Always win a trophy in his second season. Scotland nailed on for the World Cup.
Be great, wouldn't it?
Aye. Oh, hold on here actually.
Season 3's better than season 2.
It's not bad. Although, would he consider the World Cup season 1 technically? Because it's the first possible trophy he could win. Don't know. Don't know how that works. Loxism says, why not have a look at young players, fringe players, and why does he insist on Grant frickin' Hanley? What the hell does he add to the squad? Get Big Ange in. I tell you what, I don't think Big Ange would be continuing with Grant Hanley, that's for sure. Duncan Glenn says, if we got beat playing the youngsters, you could accept it, but we're a bit stagnant under Clarke. And Dean says he makes Michael Beale look like Jurgen Klopp. Let's see. That's an insult to both Beale and Jurgen.
Fucking hell, man. When Michael Beale's getting defended over him, man, it's time to go. There's no more excuses. I've been in the Steve Clarke out camp for a while. I mean, when was the turning point? It was that Hungary game. Even then, no, I had my doubts before then, to be honest. But it's like before those, you talked about the friendlies before the Euros.
I've always backed them, but I can't anymore.
It's
time to go.
It's done. It's done. You know, and people are finding excuses like, oh, the players are tired and things like that. It's not, I don't care what 11 he fielded yesterday, right? Should it be Iceland?
Yeah, hold on.
And he played a strong
11. Yeah, hold on. No, I was saying that in the preview that, those players have had long campaigns and it should go with youngsters.
Yep, and he didn't.
I would rather have seen the likes of a Irvine or a Connor Barron in there. I say don't play McTominay, don't play him again. I mean, I would have liked to have seen those players rested. But, you know what? He wanted to go with a strong team. The fact he went with a strong team and still didn't win, fucking embarrassing.
Yeah, no, it is embarrassing, absolutely. But that's where we'll leave it. Clarke out. Nobody really wants him in unless you're taking the piss. Let's be honest about it. But if you were to rate our chances, we'll do it at 100 because that gives you a better idea. If you were to rate our chances of getting to the World Cup under Steve Clarke out of 100, what would you give it?
Right now, about 20%.
I'd give it 5, man, honestly. But even then, that's being no chance, man. No chance whatsoever. I don't even think we'll beat Belarus twice, let alone the other two, and that tells you the height of it. Anyway, till next time, peace.